The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
From New York, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Ed McMahon along with Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Stan Freberg, Joan Rivers, Valery, and Jim Fowler from NBC's Wild Kingdom. And now, here's Johnny. You're gonna... You'll throw my timing off. Under the laws of New York State, vested in me. Did you know that? We are now audience and comedian. You didn't know that I could do that, you see? And I just found out I couldn't. No, did you know that a star of a television show, this sounds egoistic, is like a captain of a ship in New York City? While you're in the audience, I have all of the authority of a captain of a ship. I can perform not a real marriage. If you're from out of town, I can do enough to tide you over till you get home. So, you know. So if any of you would like to come to my offices afterwards, I'm Johnny Carson, known to the fun-loving Indian maidens who gambled with me in Nebraska. Do you know what they used to call me?
What was that?
What?
What was that?
No, they called me True Chalice. What?
True?
Well, True Chalice, that was a rough... The Indian translation was Real Crock. Did it? What is going on? I looked at you, and then I looked right by you, and I saw... Oh, I saw first Matola. What is going...
Everybody!
Where'd you... All right, you've done your Hardy impression. Now sit down. What brought this on?
Well, Clark Terry was out in Burlington, Iowa, and there's a little gal out there in the high school band who thought we needed a little sprucing up, so she sent these ties, and her name is Cindy Berquist.
Really? Yes. Look at those ties. Those are the kind of ties that should only be worn by saxophone players. And not them either. Those are kind of nice, aren't they?
I like them. It's sharp. It's nice.
Does she make these?
This is the only protection we have against Phil Spitali's orchestra, right here.
No, you got more protection than that. This is Friday the 13th, isn't it?
It is.
I knew. I peek out because we've had problems with Friday the 13th audiences. I don't know what it is. Remember last year when we had a Friday the 13th? Anytime you look in the front row and you see a little old lady with a Venus flytrap and a handful of bugs yelling, "Eat!" Didn't we have 2 Friday the 13th this year?
Yes.
No, I was at a party last Friday the 13th. There were a bunch of us sitting around joking about all the bad luck we were going to have. You know, it was quite a party. Abe Fortas was there. Joe Namath, the Smothers Brothers. The only person, the 4th person actually who was at that party who was not met with a terrible tragedy is Neville Tern. What? That was his Neville Tern, and you might congratulate him on it when you ride down in his elevator after the show. What else is in the news? Did you read that terrible thing about the mafia infiltrating supermarkets? Did you see that today in the paper? They apparently have a brand of detergent that they're trying to get stores to stock, and the stores didn't want to stock it, and they got hostile. And you know, it's amazing how quickly indecision leaves you when you got a gun at your temple, and you're asked which pile is whiter. Twitter. One word of advice, you go up there. Don't buy any detergents where you see a picture of Joe Bananas wearing a diaper. The way they caught on to him was that as they were checking out the girls were given black stamps. What is this? Cue the lion. Well, whatever else is happening. Whatever else is happening? Friday, my tongue goes on hold. The words are in there, but you just have to kind of... There they are. Here comes one now. When is the primary, the race? Next Tuesday? Here in New York? It's really going... What? 17th. That would be about Tuesday, wouldn't it? Lady sitting over there with an abacus going... I don't know, is Tuesday the 17th? Well, that's when it is.
It is if you say so, sir.
And the candidates are making a lot of last-minute promises. Did you see some of those? Lindsay is saying we're going to have more teachers. Wagner is saying more police. Mailer is saying more federal aid. Mario Procaccino says more coconut trees. I just don't think he's got a big grasp of the issues, does he? In case you're thinking of watching the late movie tonight, it's a science fiction picture about a boy who graduates from Harvard and joins the CIA. Holy. That was kind of cute. That was a test joke.
What did you learn?
I flunked. I learned you shouldn't do no test jokes. What else? It is kind of something silly going on in New York. They gave the sanitation men in New York authority to issue parking tickets. Did you see that? If your car is parked illegally and they come along to clean this, and your car is there, the sanitation men can now give you a ticket. Is that wild? Isn't that partial police power? You want me to write these on notes? Isn't that...
Normally, former police power.
Ah, shut up. That could get rough, you know. They could get, over in twos. And when they throw you in the can, they throw you in the can.
Long way.
I got there. Not important how you get there, as long as you get there. We've got a good show tonight. Stan Freberg is with us tonight. Stan is probably one of the most inventive men in television. In fact, I think one of his commercials is playing on this show tonight that Stan's agency put out. Joan Rivers is here, one of the funny young ladies. And beautiful singer, been with us before, Valery, and Jim Fowler, who often works with Marlon Perkins on The Wild Kingdom, has got some more animals. They're going to come right out on our stage. Oh, yeah. How many of you have ever force-fed a python? This is an audience participation thing later we have on. I think you'll find amusing. No, we won't do that. And what else are we going to do?
That's it.
No, the band is going to do a number tonight. Just not one of those little... Bless you. Did I hear somebody sneeze? Was that... Air conditioning. It's cool in here, isn't it? Well, you know what happens? We complain so much in our old studio about how hot it was. It's like in a restaurant. You complain about the food, and you say, could you cook this a little more? You know what happens when you send back the chef? Wants to cook a little more, huh? And you get a shoe back. So we said, could you give us a little air conditioning in here? You could hang meat in here this afternoon. And we did, remember? We had a half a dress. What was I talking about? Oh, the band is going to do a special. Isn't this a new arrangement of... what's the name? These are biggies.
Must be on the music.
Gotta be me.
It's got to be me.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the whole minute. You see that? See right away. We should do more of that. We should feature the band more, like during the monologue. I should know better than that, leaving myself open for that. Okay, so those are a lot of the things we're going to do, and we're going to do them. you ever see Don Adams play golf? Did you ever play with Don Adams? The man is a mental case. He is one of these. Don Adams does this. And he stands. And he sweats. Come here. That's 14 times I saw him do this. Nothing. Misses the ball. Something. All right. Shall we do some split billboards?
Yes, it's always wise, I think, if you explain this first.
Absolutely. There's an old comedy rule of thumb, a law.
An axiom.
What?
An axiom.
Right. You tell them what you're going to do it, and tell them when you're finished.
That's it.
What this is, folk, is that you've often driven to work, haven't you? And you've looked up and see a billboard on the highway where part of the old billboard is peeled away.
No.
And there's part of the new there.
Oh,
and
many times.
Yes. And sometimes part of the old billboard has a comedic kind of overlap.
Yeah,
or,
it's kind of a magic word counterpoint bent on tickling our risibilities.
Yeah, that's what it is. I will read the first part of the billboard.
You always read the first part. I mean, I read the first part.
You read the first part, and I will read the
You
second
almost
part.
gave me the snapper.
Well, that'll be the day.
I read the first part.
Then I will read.
Set them up for you to knock them dead.
That's right.
That's about it, isn't it?
You don't like that arrangement?
No.
I noticed a little.
No. Don't take that as hostility. I was observing that. No, until the children are through college. This is great.
Oh. Well, they better graduate Monday. Okay, I'll know. Oh, come on, what is this, folks? Folks, let it clap at the yellow pages tonight.
Here we are. One of those nights.
Friday the 13th is
Right.
Wanda Weirdo is out. All right.
I'll read the part of the old billboard.
Split book. Why don't you do that?
Fly where you want, when you want.
Drink Thunderbird wine. We over-explained it again. Okay.
Many men have solved their baldness problem with...
Carpets from the looms of Mohawk.
Watch the Doris Day television show.
Baked for 7 hours in a rich sugar sauce.
Tired of the same old dish every night? Try Betty Crocker.
Rates lower after 6 and all day Sunday. Folks, we read this as we see them coming down the highway. We don't have to make these up.
Buy the new Playtex padded bra.
Only penny more is per cup. Pennies more per cup.
Do you have body odor?
When you've got it, flaunt it. These are actually once taken off real billboards. Of course.
Want a low-cost, dignified funeral?
Just pop into boiling water for 12 minutes. Oh. Zanilla's hissing. One of the finest cue card boys in the business is hissing.
When tragedy strikes, the man from Allstate will...
Coat and soothe the tender inner lining of your tummy.
Be sure to call the Planned Parenthood Society.
When you're having more than one.
Tonight only, hear the chairman of the John Birch Society.
With the flip-top lid. Why did we have to finish? See, you know, we stopped them.
Let the kids not go to college.
Okay. All right, folks. We'll keep going till we strike gold, that's all. It's Friday the 13th. Everybody's superstitious. They figure that laughing inside, they will be struck dumb when they go out in the street. It's an old wives' tale.
You better have this.
What?
Why don't you have this?
No, it's just water. That's water, too. Well, wait. You're right. Let's have some of this. It's ice water, because these lights under here sometimes they can just bake your little throat out.
Is that some of that bottled water, like that Poland water?
Absolutely. Well, I've seen that over there. That you drink.
That's a liquid popsicle.
Oh. No, we give the impression we sit
kid
here and
around.
drink
It's
during the
just
show.
joking.
You have a
Which we
little
don't.
ice water you must have because the lights on here must be 150 degrees.
I'll drink to that.
You drink to an igloo. All right. What? Do what first? Well, we just did a commercial not only a fortnight ago. I remember doing one. Remember standing out there? Okay. Let's don't do any commercials.
All right. As you wish.
Wonder what would happen if we just, bypassed all the commercials for the whole show. I'll tell you what will happen. You ever work for Armed Forces Radio?
We would be there as a
In
team.
a small 250-watt station? We handed out some cards tonight. Where's Carol Ann Salisbury? Is that right? Where are you, Carol?
Right over here.
Did I pronounce the name right? Salisbury or Salisbury? It's that hot weather, the whole throat goes. Does Doc really dress like that on the street? He used to, but they made him get a dressing room, remember? Because you can't dress like that on the... No, Doc wears mod clothes, right, out on the street?
I'm a flamboyant dresser, yes.
That is right. Karen Goldberg, where are you, Karen? Says, are you superstitious? I don't think so. I think everybody probably has a few little things. They say they're not, but then they go like this, out of habit. You superstitious? Only one thing you won't do. Ed will not crawl under a black cat.
No.
That is no.
That's not...
Anything at all that...
I don't think so. But I still
If
get...
you had your choice and were walking down the street...
I would
a
not walk
ladder,
under a ladder, no.
Well, then you're
I'd be
superstitious.
honest. Yeah. That's
Okay.
silly, but I have to be truthful.
Is it silly, really?
Sure, it's silly. What could happen to you?
You could fall and hurt yourself. Or somebody could,
Well, then I'm not going to do it.
How many people do you think are in our party? Sarah Lichtenstein, is that right?
Where's Sarah?
Or Lichtenstein, where are you, Sarah? How many people do you think are in our party? I don't know. You having a party? What's the party? Your Sweet 16 today? Do you remember when you were Sweet 16?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember when you were Sweet 40? Anyway. Sweet 16. Well, happy Sweet 16. What does one do on a Sweet 16 party?
Whatever one wishes.
Oh, no. No,
No,
can't do
it's
that.
just a nice spot.
Oh. Audrey Gallen, where are you, Audrey? How does a girl go about getting a date with an NBC page? Aha.
The page is applauding.
Yeah. Well, there's strict requirements. No, you have to have a heartbeat, a pulse, and car fare home from Jersey. Is Hilda Lichtenstein too? Is that the same party? What did you do on your 16th birthday? I really don't remember. Can you remember what you did?
I don't think anything special. They didn't celebrate them in those days.
Well, in those days when you were 16, how many people were there? You held your sweet... What the party ever? Only sweet 16 party ever held in a cave.
Yeah. Harvey's Cave.
That's right.
The
Murray's
whole world came.
came in Harvey's cave. What did you do? We looked at rocks. Do you ever watch Ed McMahon on his daytime show Concentration? Barry Burton. I was going to watch today, but I had so many important things come up. Like
What happened?
I had teeth to brush, magazines, old magazines to file, and I just... No, I've seen your show 3 or 4 times. Sure. It's on at 10:30 in the morning.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Right here on NBC.
Yeah.
Coast to coast.
Yep.
6 and 12. Sorry, you don't get the chimney sweep. That's not a match. You feel lonely without your old plant by your side. We did have an old...
Old plant, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I still have the old pot, though. Bone. The femur cracked right there. Bruce.
Is Bruce here?
Bruce Stuck? Is that right? Stuck? How do you pronounce the last name, Bruce?
Stookie.
Stuckey. Brucey Stuckey. What? You is the Stuckey, I is the Stucco. What are you gonna... Oh, come on, where's the silly man? That's old Amos and Andy dialogue, isn't it, when they bought the stucco house?
Yeah. The house is stucco.
Oh, they make you the Stuckey. They were funny, though. Oh. What is this with a... Folks, please. Well, then they Bruce to ask. When are you going to start wearing some up-to-date clothes like Doc? Oh, I thought this was... I think this is kind of a nice little...
Might be Bruce's last visit.
I think this is rather avant-garde, don't you? Well, you know, musicians are wild people. They've got to wear these type of things, you know, keep up their image. We're from Los Angeles, and we object to your jokes about Mary Yorty. Would you joke about him if you were governing your city? I wouldn't joke about him if you were governing yours. Nothing like endearing yourself to the country at large, is there? Here's one from... Oh, we're going to leave for a moment while the band has their ties cleaned, and we'll be right back. No, I can't move this anymore. They put a hole there and put a block on it.
That's the fun you had. We used to move your
To adjust, and I can't do that anymore. You see, they're all set down in receptacles.
Your lighter is still freewheeling.
That's true. No. I'm almost scared to introduce this young lady. I've mispronounced her name several times on the show, and it's easy to do because it's spelled D-A-N-A,
Right.
V-A-L-L-E-R-Y. You'd think you'd say Donna, right?
Yeah, Valery, but it's not.
It's Donna Valery, right? And she is a lovely, lovely singer, and she is, I think, going to be with Jimmy Rogers this coming Monday. So would you welcome back Donna Valery. Donna?
I lost that love before, got mad and closed the door. Then you said, oh, just once more. I chose you for the one. Now I'm having so much fun. You treated me so kind. I'm about to lose my mind. You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life. The others were untrue, but when it came to loving you, I spent my whole life with you. 'Cause you came and you took control. You touched my very soul. You always showed me that loving you and wearing that. You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life. I love you so much, you see. You're even in my dreams. I can hear you call to me.
You are singing great.
Thank you.
You are just singing great.
Thank you very much.
And I could not help but... What's this while you're out there? That is...
Well, this is my own this time. I was driving from the airport in Los Angeles. I went there for the Jimmy Rogers show. And I was in a cab going to the hotel. And I saw this thing hanging in a window.
Are you an impulse buyer?
Yes, always. And I said, stop, I must buy this thing. Whatever it is, I just took it, you know. And it's an old Spanish shawl.
I was going to say, it looks Spanish.
And she redid it all by hand.
That's very attractive.
And it's it's really old. You can see the fabric, how old it is. And I loved it.
That's very pretty.
I love the clothes in Los Angeles.
I want to do that at times. I don't have, you see something I want to go, but I don't.
Buy an old Spanish shawl for you?
What? Certain days I get in an old Spanish mood. Like tonight. If I saw that in the window tonight, I'd run in and buy it. I really would. They'd throw in a couple of drinks. Give me that. So, how you been?
Fine.
You were working here in New York last time, I believe, were you not?
Yes, I was at the Persian Room. And then I went... It was so odd. For the first time in my life, I went to Chicago, and I worked with a trio. I've never done that before. And it's very strange, and...
You mean they were singing background while you sang, or what?
Pardon?
Well, you mean just the band, the trio?
To back me was just a trio from... I would have at least 12.
A lot of entertainers say that they come in and they sing with this group, which is one of the, I think, the finest band working today. I kid you, but I think the finest band working. And they really get spoiled. Then they go into the Club Barnum, in Biloxi, where a guy's playing a drum in a box. And I said, it's not the same.
No, I must say that the trio that I was working with in Chicago was marvelous.
Oh.
But it was very strange, and it's a very attentive club. Have you been to Mr. Kelly's in Chicago?
Oh, sure.
Everybody is very, very good.
They go there to see, usually, the performer.
Usually.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing in my whole life, I'm not a very chatty performer.
Sing your song?
I sing.
I think that's great. Most singers, no, I shouldn't say that, but many singers, I think, make the mistake of coming out and, doing a 2-minute explanation to the number.
No,
Here's a lovely Rodgers and Hart song. It's one of my favorites, and I certainly hope it's going to be one of yours.
You say, who cares? Sing it. I'm going to make a lot of friends tonight.
But I was just getting used to this beautiful, beautiful audience, always keeping quiet. And I come on one evening, and there were 4 lovely little ladies talking, and because the rest of the room was so quiet, I could hear everything that they were saying. And they kept on and on and on. And eventually I just stopped the band. I said, no, madam, I'm really not wearing a girdle. They had been arguing, 2 of them against the other 2, whether I was wearing a girdle or not. And they weren't listening to the music or anything. I just got so mad. And the band had never heard me say one word out of whatever,
You actually stopped?
I stopped everything. I couldn't bear it any longer.
Singers usually don't get hecklers. We who try to do comedy in nightclubs
But they were
occasionally.
being nice. They weren't being horrible about it. They weren't really heckling.
Women are different than men in clubs. If women get a few drinks, I don't know what it is. Maybe their voices are a little shriller. But it can cut right through the night air when you're up there. And they really go at it pretty good.
Fantastic.
But you don't get people who heckle you while you sing, do you?
No, I never have. I've had the 2 men sat in front of me, again in Mr. Kelly's, and they smoked cigars. And I have, what really made it worse is I have terrible hay fever. I have to take tablets to dry it all up. So I have a very dry throat anyway. And these 2 cigars were puffing and puffing. Eventually I said, I'm terribly sorry, I'll buy you new cigars. Whatever make they are, I'll buy them.
But put them out.
I put them out. And one was absolutely charming, and he put the other. And the other one didn't like that. He put it out, but he sat like this for the rest of the evening. I could do nothing right.
Oh, cigar smoke, if you're not used to it, can really turn you off.
Especially when it's right underneath you like this, coming up every breath.
Nothing worse for a singer to have an allergy.
I don't smoke at all. You can imagine how awful.
What are you allergic to?
Everything. The sun, the grass, dust, air.
Are you one of those
perfume,
that's completely, everything?
Everything. I sneeze all the time.
No, it sounds funny, but it's not because it can drive you crazy.
Especially if you're a singer.
What do you do in New York?
I just take my little tablets all the time. I have marvelous blue pills that specialist gave me. And,
That's my problem. I'm allergic to those blue pills. Nothing else bothers me, but I take one of those blue pills and I'm bananas. Hey, we're back here at Club 15. Remember that show, Club 15?
Club 15.
My golly, Friday night. How's the allergy? Give you something for? Are you allergic to anything? I've known Ed 12 years, and I've never asked you this question before, but now, for some reason, Friday night the 13th seems like the time to ask it. Are you allergic to anything?
For the benefit of the show, I wish I were, but I am not, that I know of.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Food? Are you allergic to food?
No, not really.
I'm allergic to some food, too. Lobsters and shrimp and
Gee,
things
that's
like
a
that.
shame that, no, I mean,
And then you develop it, you know. I wasn't born with these things. One day I had lobster and I got madly ill, and from then on I can't touch lobster and things like that.
do you think it could be,
You can-
I don't want to say mental, but do you think you build up a...
Except that now even if I smell lobster, I think, oh, now I'm going to get ill. So maybe it is. But I wouldn't take the chance, because if I just taste it, I get red blotches on my face.
I think the NBC doctor could help her.
I'm allergic to the NBC doctor. I get red blotches when I see him, and a claw comes out. It's a terrible thing. What were we talking about?
Allergies.
Allergies.
Lobster.
Are you allergic since you asked me? You're not allergic to anything.
When I was a kid, I had the worst hay fever allergy to ragweed pollen in the Midwest.
Ragweed?
Yeah.
What's that?
Ragweed's ragweed.
What is it?
It's
A flower?
it's a weed.
Probably looks like a rag.
No, it doesn't look like it don't look like no rag. It's a silly weed, and the pollen blows off, and it blows through the air and up your nose. And it's not funny. And they give you all these tests up and down your arm. And they scratch you with little needles and put all that on, and ragweed went wacko, wacko. And I found out I was allergic to ragweed. This is exciting television. This is what keeps our show rolling along. Big facts like this. I don't know what it means, but I used to sneeze, but I grew out of it. You can grow out of an allergy. For some reason, it leaves you. And that left me. And I haven't had that probably ragweed allergy for, these 20, 25 years.
By golly.
Okay, let's moving along here now. Here's a good friend of ours. Joni says she taped 3 shows today. 4 of her own shows. And she's working at the upstairs, at the downstairs, all tonight also. She's a funny girl, and she started with us on a Tonight Show, and she's a lot of fun. Would you welcome Joan Rivers? Oh, isn't that nice?
Jewish gypsy effect.
A Jewish...
This is great. I've never been. Congratulations. It's the first time I've been in the new studio. Chef,
that's right.
sensational.
Isn't this sweet?
Yes, we're downstairs, and they didn't give us a new one. We have brownies and flashlights. This is lovely, nice.
Only took us 7.5 years or almost 7 years to get this.
But it's just, you should use it in good health.
Thank you, yes. Are you super? It's Friday the 13th.
Yes, I wore 2 different shoes today. My mistake. It just was a terrible day. You know, it's one of those...
Did you really do 4 shows today? Or 3?
4 shows, my own show, and then I'm going to do 3 shows tonight at my own.
Well, what are you trying to do?
Get very rich fast so I can retire at 30. And,
Vicious
staff
crowd.
I have ever met.
The staff is vicious. The crowd's a little vicious
Yes,
tonight.
I noticed that.
I feel vicious tonight. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
I'm bananas tonight. Do you ever get one of those moves in your own show?
Yes.
We do occasionally, and I don't know what kicks it off. Everything is... Or non sequiturs. It doesn't make a difference what you say.
And you just want to start getting hysterical.
Somebody says wallpaper, and you go wallpaper, and you sit around, and the people at home say, he's got to be bagged. And I'm not. But I feel like I'm bagged.
Well,
And you're going to get back.
No. No.
No, but when it's not your show, like when NBC's paying for it, you can do a lot of jokes and, you know, be silly. My show, I'd say anything silly or say it gets blooped and it's money out of our pockets. I mentioned the word booby today. And, yes, I know, now let's say it. And,
Jim Fowler has one with him. It's a little South American, a very nocturnal animal.
Yes, that's what I was
Only comes out at night. It is. It's a small... Now, come on, listen to me. Hear me out of it, you see? Hear me out of it. Now, come on. I don't want to... That just happened to be one of those strange phrases that did not mean to come out that way. I mean it. But it is. There is. It's a boubé. In French equatorial Africa. It comes out Like French Equatorial Africa comes out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and hibernates on alternate days. Well, no, because it only comes out at night, and it's so damn dark, nobody can ever see it. But it's the South Equatorial and Boubet.
Boubet. I could say something you could do.
No. Yes.
No, but you do get silly, and then, you know, as I said, then you're very sorry when it's your own show and it costs you money.
Yeah. No, we'll
So
be
we
very
should-
dignified now.
Yeah. And no, and also, again, when it's like my own show, as Edgar says, like every dollar that we pay is a dollar out of the kid's mouth. And when you think about it that way, it slows you down.
How is your baby?
Great.
The kid.
Just great. She's, we had a problem. She's starting to walk now, you know, and they have such energy, and she was driving me crazy, so Edgar sits at one end of the apartment, and I sit at the other end, and we send her on errands, you know. Show this to Daddy, Melissa. Daddy, you know.
Just to keep her going.
Oh, Melissa, show it to Mommy. Show it to Daddy. And the kid's got a little tiny body and Kate Smith legs. Just
Lunging back and forth.
big old legs. But she's very cute.
Have you learned the trick of taking everything out of the lower drawers and again getting them up? Because they get in everything.
They get it, well, not, yes, but it's all the way you bring them up. You know, you have to be very, very careful. Micah, the problem we had with her is that she wasn't talking, and I was really getting crazy there. Because you always hear mothers lie. Johnny talking in 2 months, and the kid was a year and nothing, not a word out of the mouth. And I went to the doctor, and I said, what should I do? And he said, hold back something they want desperately, like food. So the kid was down to 4 pounds. And she spoke. She said, call me a cop.
I'm putting in for parental...
And that was it from then on. But it's all the attitude to have.
I've been through that. You know, my kids are all grown up now.
Oh, which one did I see in the office today, Ricky?
That was Ricky,
He's
yeah.
so cute. He really is adorable.
Yeah, Rick's going to be 17 this month.
Yeah, he had pictures of all the girls that are trying to get on the show.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like Miss, you know, whatever the animal's called, you know.
Boubet.
Miss
French
Boubet. In a lot of poses with whips and chains, and Ricky was saying...
No, that's not my boy.
And he was saying to me...
That's no son of mine.
Everything, just everything
Look
you
at
can
that.
imagine. Yeah.
Is that Mr. Phyllis?
No, Mr. Kenneth now. I go where Jackie Onassis goes. Oh, the big O. And that's why it looks great. But the only trouble is that he's just brilliant, Kenneth.
Yeah.
But they don't believe in hairspray and teasing, see?
They don't do that.
So it's going to fall out because Jackie Onassis does not believe in hairspray and teasing. And you know why she does not believe in hairspray and teasing? Because she can afford not to have hairspray and teasing. She has 4 Greeks that blow her head all day long.
What does she need?
What is it? But you know what's great? And she is a lady. And I saw her. She walks around Kenneth, which was such a thrill for me. Because, I mean, if I were her, I wouldn't walk around Kenneth. I would sit in my own booth and not talk and just tip big. But she walks around and smiles, hello, hello, hello. And Onassis walks right behind her. And,
I find that hard to believe, yes.
But, no, but I try to look nice. I do.
Why are women so worried about getting a little
Because
older?
of men.
But they always say men look great if they get a little age on them.
Yes. Yes.
I hardly know a man, but when he was, say, 20 or 25, that didn't look better when he was 40.
Yes.
Really, I don't know what it is, but women hate that.
Because have you ever seen a woman at 40 that said she looks better than she was? Never. At 25, never. Because it's a man, because a man, as he gets older, he gets more distinguished looking. It's really true. It's true. You know that. And a woman, as she gets older, just sits in the subway like this, and that's it. The stockings are rolled, you know, that wonderful look. And it just kills me. Edgar gave me, which hurts, for my birthday, he gave me a course, a day at a house of beauty, which I first took offense at. And I spent $100, went for the whole day, so that 14 fairies could tell me I had these thighs. And that's, yeah, gonna stay home and have the elevator man tell me for a quarter. But,
One bill, right down. What do they do in one of those places?
oh, it's just they
Does
come
it really
to
mean anything? You go in there and they give you the pedicure and the man that's set in the hair and all that?
The set and the hair, and it's just terrible. And they all go like, well, you have a thigh problem and you have a this, and you know it. It's just a terrible thing. But I just don't want to, I don't think any woman wants to get old, really, because everything is such youth today.
It's all you.
And again, it's a man's world. A man, Las Vegas, you see a guy this big, like 90 years old, bald with a cigar, 8-year-old showgirl, no brassiere, nobody looks. You think, is he a sport? But if you saw a woman this big, 90 years old, bald with a cigar, an 8-year-old showboy with no brassiere, you would...
And hair.
Yes. So you're not going to find me in Howard Johnson's on Mother's Day, I'm telling you right now. You know, those women with the V-neck, I'm happy.
The kids are destroying the restaurant.
I'm going to have a hot flash, it's going to be in a discotheque. I'm telling you right now.
You'll always be young.
Like, you see these women, and maybe it's wrong to a man, but like these women, you see, I'm going to be in a bikini. I know at 95 years old. Why not? Miami Beach, walking around, you know. The bottom here, the top here.
It's going to be a bikini, though.
I think it's bikini.
Don't worry about it.
I do. You can't help it.
No, don't worry about it.
Don't you look at young girls? Everybody does. Right?
Well, what do you mean, how young girls?
Well, 3. No, I mean, like, to me, a young girl is interesting, about 31. But I find, like, 18, 19-year-old girls.
Of course you look at them,
Yes.
but you look at them because you're old enough to be their brother.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cute and they're fresh and it's springtime.
Yes,
But you look at them because the youthful.
Yes.
But you look at them, I think, in a...
In what kind of a way?
Yes. I want to see her.
No, because they're fresh and bright, but you don't say, hey, because you'd realize that you're on in years.
What?
You certainly don't, really.
All I know is that the most awful thing for a woman is when you're sitting there talking to a guy and an 8-year-old chickie walks past and all the...
Well,
And these girls are dumb, Johnny.
dumb.
Dumb. You know what the stewardess is? Oh, yeah. Dumb.
But they're pretty.
Oh, sure, bring that up.
You know.
They have to memorize things like welcome aboard, welcome aboard.
But dumb.
But
Dumb, but pretty.
Sometimes they say aboard, welcome.
Welcome. It's not easy. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. We don't feature the band enough on this show. We got the greatest band in all of show business, and new arrangement. Haven't heard it yet myself. And this is what, Doc?
I've got to be me.
I gotta be me. We have to do that more often. I tell you. Here's a gentleman I have known for a great number of years and have always admired tremendously because he was one of the forward thinkers in television. He's most creative. He's, I guess you'd say Stan is a kind of iconoclastic. He says what's on his mind, but it makes sense. The commercial you saw earlier tonight for Geno's is one of Stan's, and he is, he just done the Chinese food. What was the account he took? Chun King. He was on for Chun King, Italian food, beer prunes, and even did some spots for religion, which were most effective. Would you welcome a truly creative thinker, Mr. Stan Freberg. Stanley? So you make it pretty tough, as I said, you know, when we have your commercials on the show, the commercials do so well. I've been scheduling the comedy spots at different places, so we don't have to follow commercials.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
That's a funny one. Didn't the Lone Ranger commercial win the one you did with the Lone Ranger win some kind of a...
Well, it won, yes, it won a couple of Clios in the advertising awards back here, but one thing that I think you'll find interesting is that it was selected as one of 2 commercials to be included in the Encyclopedia Britannica yearbook. And
did you ever think you'd see that day when commercials would go in the
No.
Encyclopedia Britannica?
No, I didn't. It was they listed as an outstanding example of 20th century advertising, but the woman at the Encyclopedia Britannica who picked it first became aware of the commercial because she saw it on The Tonight Show.
Is that right?
That's right.
So we played a part in getting it in the Encyclopedia?
That's right.
Gee, I think that's nice. It's those little things that keep you going.
A little thing, yes.
Little things in life that... Somebody told me you're kind of wigged out. You hadn't been sleeping for a couple of days or something? What?
Yes, well, I've been working. I work around the clock. I work better under pressure, although maybe not that much pressure. And so I got some sleep last night. I feel all right, yeah.
I remember, Stan, when you were doing Cecil, the C600 back in Los Angeles, and what?
Boy, what a memory.
Yeah, well, I was back there in 1950, 51, 52, right?
Yes.
I think you won one of the first Emmys, if I remember, for...
The halcyon days of puppets, yes.
Yes, the halcyon days. Did anybody ever look that up and find out what it means?
Not me.
Halcyon days? Jack Benny said he looked it up because Georgie Jessel always says, halcyon days.
Yes.
And Jack said he looked it up one day, and it meant a little South American bird or something, which makes no sense at all.
Good. I hear that maybe we may have a halcyon on the show tonight.
Yes, Jim Fowler has it back there.
Yeah, well, it's a shame to put him in captivity, you know.
How's the new agency doing that you opened? Is it still functioning well?
Oh, yes.
What's the name of that again? Parsley, Rosemary?
No, that's the subtitle.
The subtitle?
Yes, on the stationery.
It's T-H-Y-M-E Incorporated.
Time Incorporated, yes.
T-H-Y-M-E.
And, yeah, well, we buy, it really is just the time buying arm of my other company, Freberg Limited, but not very. And so I held a press conference in front of the Time and Life building and announced the Time agency. It says, Time Incorporated, a division of parsley, sage, rosemary, and Osborne. And this is serving clients since 1969. I sent over a piece of that stationery. They have that?
Where is it?
Where is it?
Well, this is the...
Where is it?
Where's the picture? Maybe
Right, there it is.
I didn't see it. I saw the picture.
Look, there it is.
No, that is... And Time was quite flattered, I understand, Time magazine.
They have a strange way of showing it. They ignored me completely.
Didn't bring up a...
No, that was originally supposed to be a yellow border, but my lawyers were afraid I'd be sued by the National Geographic.
So they...
Yeah.
You have the same lawyers I do, apparently. Fanaster Schagel and...
Yes.
Hey, was this... I know this Jay Silverheels. Was the fellow who played the Lone Ranger in this commercial?
Yeah, a lot of people tell me that you discussed that one.
I pulled a boo-boo one night, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is most...
Brace Beamer?
Very much... No, Brace Beamer is dead.
Clayton Moore is the one
Clayton Moore is alive and living in the San Fernando Valley, and he is...
Played the Lone Ranger.
Yeah, played the Lone Ranger in Jay Silverheels.
I made the mistake one night, as I said, I think Clayton Moore is not any longer with us, and I received a telegram from Woodland Hills, California, from Clayton Moore, who I think did the Mark Twain line. The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated, so I withdrew that. You want to talk about television censorship a little bit? You've wanted to do things, and I'm sure that agencies, advertisers did not see eye to eye with.
Yeah, not so much advertisers as the people at the networks, actually. I've received an interesting, I've had more creative freedom working in the advertising business because an interesting thing happens. If you move the man's product, you know, no matter how unorthodox or wild or bizarre you are, they stay off your back. Not true upstairs at the CBS building or NBC or whatever. I've sort of lost interest in doing television. For years I really wanted to be on there functioning as a satirist an hour a week or whatever, and it suddenly occurred to me they just don't really want satiric programs on, and as the Smothers Brothers recently found out. But one of the things reasons I've lost interest is that there was so much censorship at the time that I was doing things on the on television. I once did what has to be the bottom of the barrel controversial show-wise, which was called the Summer Chevy Show over at NBC. And they censored so much out of my material on that show that the CBC in Canada invited me to come on, and they made a special out of all the deletions.
Just took the stuff that wasn't passed?
That's right. That's true. It was called Freberg Unfettered. And they said, do you have enough to fill an hour? I said, listen, I have enough for a series. And but the stupid things that they made me delete. I remember, you know, Orville, the little spaceman that worked on the show. He was on, and he was mad because his girlfriend, Miss Moon, had been barred from the Miss Universe contest, you know. And he said to me, you know, let's shape up. Let's be tolerant of all planets, you know. If you're going to have a Miss World contest, that's one thing. If you're going to have a Miss Universe contest, you know. So I said, well, maybe we can have a separate contest for people from other planets. And he said to me, separate but equal, you know. Okay, now, in 1959, that just blew the mind of the separate but equal. Oh, a racial joke. Oh, you know. So, and it wasn't that big a joke, you know. But it was a nice commentary at that time. So they said to me, we're a little long, sweetie, so we have to cut. So we just cut these 3 words here, separate but equal. And I said,
that'll save us 10 or 15 minutes right there on the show.
Big cut, yeah. And I said, no, I don't feel like cutting that, you know. I'll cut a clearing of my throat earlier instead of something.
Pick up the time there.
And they said, no good. So on a Sunday morning, when the show went on, man, the producer of the show, walking me up and down, blowing a cigar smoke in my face, says, now, Stan, sweetie, I want you to know that I've been on the phone with Detroit this morning. I said, but it's Sunday. He said, yes, I was on the phone with Detroit. And the Chevrolet people would just like you to know that they have many Negroes working in the Chevrolet plant. That shows you where they stand. And I said, were they working upstairs in the offices? And he said, well, no, they're down in the assembly upstairs. But they wanted me to tell you this. They wanted me to tell you that one time, Chevrolet booked Marian Anderson on the Dinah Shore Show. Now, that shows you where they stand.
Oh, how about that?
Is that beautiful?
Great corporate move.
Yeah.
Yeah. As well as
I said, what if I don't cut the line? They said, well, we just have John Raitt sing another song from South Pacific. I said, you wouldn't do that. He said, oh, wouldn't I? Listen to this.
I wouldn't, eh, baby?
You know,
yeah,
but they were always the worst, but not just racial things. You know, today that's a mild joke, you know, but it was...
Just the content of
yeah, well, for one thing, they would not allow me to mention the hydrogen bomb ever. At CBS Radio, I did that. I said, do you think maybe by not mentioning it, it'll go away, you know?
They got John Raitt again, huh?
John Raitt, yeah. And so they said, would you change hydrogen bomb to nuclear weapon? I said, well, you think that's a little less explosive or what, you know? And well, I'm afraid to tell that story for fear I'll be interrupted by a commercial.
You know very well, though, that the content is what they really worry about more than anything. You know, they want happy shows, you know, for happy. They want
well, that's
anybody
what they
in
say.
kind
We
of a
don't want, look, this is a happy show. We're selling automobiles here. We don't want people to think about the hydrogen bomb, you know. I said, well, how come it's in the news, you know, proceedings? Well, news, after all, that's different, you know. But the thing Orville, can I take about 45 seconds and tell you this thing that they deleted in its entirety, and I went up and did it in Canada. He had come for a cultural exchange with our government, and he wanted some of the better things in, you know, outdoor advertising. And he wanted an autographed picture of that man with all 8 of his sinus cavities draining at the time, and to take back. I said, well, I see you picked the best of our cultures. You know, what have you got for us? And he said to me, I got the spaceship full of beads and trinkets. You know, that's what they told me the natives wanted here. I said, oh, no, we're beyond that now. Give us something better than that. He says, I know. We'll give you a nuclear weapon. It was originally a hydrogen bomb. I said, I'm afraid we already have a nuclear weapon. He said, not like ours. Ours is terrific. I said, what's so special about yours? He said, ours doesn't work. I said, what, if it doesn't work, what do you do with it? He said, once a year, all the nations on the moon get together and we hit it with a stick. And I said, you hit it with it? We hit it with a stick. That's right. I said, and then what happens? He says, paper hats and toys fall out. I said, and then what do you do? He says, then we all put on the paper hats and we play with the toys. I said, and then what do you do? He says, then we all go home. I said, do you have some special name for this festivity? He says, yes, we call it progress.
And that went out.
Zap, the whole thing.
Oh, that's good. That now would be considered mild. That today...
That's mild today. That is a mild thing.
So there has been little progress
Listen,
made.
as recently as 1964, when I was on the Tonight Show, see, no, it was that Hour show that Parr did.
Yeah, well, I was ahead in 1962.
Huh?
I was ahead in 1962.
That's right. But the Hour was just before the Goldwater Johnson election, which, well, that was 64, yeah. A man came down from NBC, Continuity Acceptance, and said, I'm here to count the jokes. I said, what, you mean you're here to clear the jokes? I said, no, we're here to count them. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we have to make sure you have an exact number of jokes against Goldwater as you have for Johnson. And so it turned out I had more against Goldwater. And he said, you got to, I said, well, look at about these, look, it's even. Look at these jokes here. He said, no, those aren't Johnson jokes, they're Ladybird jokes. So it was deemed that 3 Ladybird jokes were equal to 1 Goldwater joke.
That's Parkinson's law, I think, of...
Parkinson's law.
Something like that. No, the audience was kind of going, like you're putting them on, but that's true.
No, these are true story, I swear to you.
That is
these are
equal time under political provisions of doing humor. And if you do a joke about so-and-so, you are very apt to have people come and say, no, you did a Mary Lindsay joke, now you've got to do an anti-democratic or an anti-equal time, and it just drives you nuts.
Do a Catholic joke, you got to do Protestant.
Drives you nuts.
Yes.
We're running a little short of time, and I apologize for Jim Fowler before he comes out. He's been with us many times. He's featured in Life magazine this week on a most interesting picture story about the South American condor, which is not like the other animal you were talking about. And he's the co-host of Mutual's Wild Kingdom. Would you welcome Jim Fowler? James? I'm sorry to get you out here so late, because I know the animals have a bed check. What do we got tonight? Hey, first of all, that thing in Life was really beautiful. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but it's on the condor, and gee, that must have been a thrill.
Yeah, John Dominus is a great photographer. He really is.
Beautiful picture.
I was going to bring a grizzly bear tonight, but maybe it's just as well with Friday the 13th.
Seriously?
But,
a little one.
I couldn't get him on the aircraft. That was a problem.
Were you going to bring one, really?
I'm going to bring one. But I didn't know that
you see a pilot with a bear getting on? Take this plane to Yosemite. Right away, you got something.
Yes, maybe that's why I didn't arrive.
Yeah. What do you got tonight?
Well, I didn't know you knew what I had. This is nocturnal, and it...
Somebody said you had a raccoon.
Right, comes out at night. And,
why don't we all just slide over one?
They sense fear, Stan, right away.
Do they really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, look at that.
There, let me take this out.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Ray.
they're very...
Are they all right?
Very tame. These,
Look at that.
since it's springtime, these are pretty appropriate.
Hey, do they make good pets?
Well, raccoons, yeah, but in a city, and unless you know something about animals, it's not good to have them.
You hear them?
But these are quite young.
Looks like the Lone Ranger.
Get off that silly mask and I'll show you a thing or two.
The mask.
Oh, they're cute.
These are quite young, and they need feeding not
Oh,
every
these
hour.
are cute.
Wonderful.
So, they should take this.
Where'd mine go?
Oh, you want to try him on that one?
Are they ready?
Backwards. Let's see if I can get this one started. There we go.
Hey, fella. Notice the natural affinity I have with animals?
Terrific.
They're great climbers, aren't they?
Going right
You
to the
know.
jugular vein, right? Little fella?
Here,
Little girl.
take
Little
this
girl.
one. You take
Yes,
this
you
one.
wanna-
I'll take the other
That
one.
one.
Right? That's very good.
Oh, that little thing is hungry.
Yes, he is.
We're going to say,
You know, these are
we're going
only.
to say too bad about Carson. He's got the raccoon on his back.
You know, these are only about. Well, they're all about a month old. They're quite young. If you'll hold this,
Raccoons are pretty
Oh, me?
smart, aren't they? Come on, Stan.
Right. I don't want it.
We'll work on that a while, but you got to keep it up.
Oh, yes.
Raccoons are pretty smart, aren't they?
They're really smarter. They're very
You tell her,
smart.
you mean we only got 2 minutes? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Huh?
I've got a couple other things.
Can we keep the raccoons here?
Thank goodness the Bronx Zoo helped me out on these because I didn't have the grizzly. But raccoons really are surviving in spite of man. That's one thing that's interesting about them. We're pretty well depleting the rest of the animal world.
Isn't that...
We got a couple more, huh?
He's wise and wild. Look at this.
Can they see?
Well, I hope so. What are those? They look like a weasel.
Well, these are all quite young animals, yeah. This is a rare little animal from South America. It's a South American fox. It's called a Zorro.
Zorro?
Zorro. And they're all young ones. This is a European ferret. And, you know, ferrets have a... They...
Oops. No. That's... No. The bottle's gone. There we are.
These ferrets have a reputation for going to the throat of their victim and drinking the blood of the...
Except people in the agency business who have no blood. Oh.
Looks a little bit like an account executive.
You know, all these animals, it's interesting that humans always interpret animals as if they had human emotions. Now, what I would like to see in zoos and other places is animals portrayed as themselves. We'd learn a lot more about them, and it's getting to the point, it's not a question of making sure that animals are around, but it's a question of making sure that all life on Earth survives. Right
Yeah,
now,
they're going to
our
destroy us
survival
sooner or later,
is-
aren't
yeah,
they?
it's not only the animals, it's our survival now. So it's one reason I think it's good to have these and show them.
You think these are disappearing, do you, the ferrets?
Well, the ferrets almost completely gone in this country. The
And
black
condors
ferret.
also.
They're not as extinct as satirists in television.
We have to take a break here?
Isn't that wonderful?
All right. Look at this thing go. But they're not adapted for city life at all. I've never burped a raccoon before. Do you have to do that when I... Hey, this is these are great. These must be great little pets.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, there's the finger again. There's... No. The bottle, dummy. Hey, Jim, thank you. Let's do this again. I'm sorry I got you out here so late tonight because we had something else we wanted to do, but thank you for bringing this little animals with us tonight. Stanley?
Well,
Thank
first
you,
time
Jim.
I've ever been booked into a ferret act.
But you certainly do well with it.
Really?
There's been a lot of talk, so we'll see you. Good night.